Hey, welcome. So glad to see you here. Let's talk about 7 wonderful foods for diabetes. Let's get into it. So, number one, we're going to talk about flax seeds. That's right, including ground flax seeds. They offer a lot of goodness in a little package. They're delicious. They have a mild, nutty kind of flavor. Now, to be clear, flax seeds are not nuts in any way, shape, or form. So, if you have an allergy to nuts, you don't need to worry about flax seeds at all. All right, flax seeds are helpful for better blood sugar control. They can be enjoyed in their whole form or ground, ideally freshly ground or close to freshly ground. Flax seeds usually are sold as just flax seeds. In other words, they typically don't have a lot of additives or junk in them, but you know what? As always, read your labels so you know what you are eating. Take the mystery out of your food, okay? Be responsible for what you eat. Read those labels. Now, according to the USDA, this is for 1 tablespoon serving of flax seeds. Now, let me share my screen. Okay, so here we have that for a typical serving for flax seeds, low in calories, right? Just about 55, a little bit of sodium, small amount of fat, but healthy kinds of fats. Carbs are super low, and it contains fiber. That's one of the best things about flax seeds. They contain fiber. All right, let me stop that screen share. Let's come back. Okay, so now some other good things to know about this from the point of view of nutrition, and what's going to be helpful to you. Now, additionally, there are benefits to consider for flax seeds, right? Here are some of them. You can eat them whole or ground. They contain plant protein. Flaxseed is a good source of plant protein, though it's considered an incomplete protein. In other words, you have to eat other things with it in order for it to form a complete protein. It's great for heart health. Flax seeds are so beneficial. They have a healthy balance of good kinds of healthy fats. They can help to lower total and bad cholesterol, which may reduce the risk of heart disease. This is very important. Whether you have diabetes or not, we all want to boost our heart health. It's a simple way to do it. They also contain omega-3 fatty acids, which are great. Those are good fats. They are anti-inflammatory fats. They can help with heart disease as well as other health problems. Flax seeds can also help with wound healing. They can accelerate it. If you have diabetes, you know it's so important to be able to recover if you have a wound. Wounds tend to heal quite slowly with diabetes. For digestive health, flax seeds can help relieve constipation and other kinds of digestive and abdominal woes, right? And improve overall digestive health. This is important to know. Blood pressure can also be improved by eating flax seeds, right? A lot of wins here, a lot of wins. And there's even more goodness ahead. For cancer prevention, flax seeds contain something called lignans, Lignans, which may help protect the body from cancer. So important in today's toxic world. And flax seeds can also help to drop or decrease inflammation all over the body. They reduce it. In addition, they support bone health. They contain minerals like magnesium and phosphorus, which can help us to maintain our bones and to reduce the risks of osteoporosis and osteopenia. They also help to improve overall hormonal balance. So if someone is premenopausal, perimenopausal, is in the midst of menopause, or is long past the menopausal window, doesn't matter. Could even help teenagers too with hormonal balance going through puberty and adolescence. It can help to restore hormonal balance, help to reduce acne, things like that, and improve fertility, as well as relieve symptoms of hormonal imbalance like hot flashes, night sweats, etc. This can help men and women, by the way, with their hormonal balance. Now, specifically, when we think about menopause, flax seeds can help reduce the intensity of symptoms that are associated with menopause. Now, if that applies to you or you know someone else who might benefit from this, please share this video because I think a lot of times when we consider food as medicine and medicine as food, maybe we don't understand how multi-impactful something as simple as a flaxseed could be for our health, right? All right, skin conditions. Flax seeds can help overall improve any number of skin conditions. That includes eczema, that includes acne, that includes skin that doesn't heal well in general, okay? Aging skin. Skin is rapidly aging. Flax seeds are a friend. And then, as mentioned, it can also help with healing all kinds of wounds, especially if you know you're someone who tends to be a little slow to knit up, so to speak. All right, now, flax seeds can be consumed in a number of ways. And here's some ideas for you. You can add it to your cereal, your yogurt, smoothies, soups, however you might enjoy it. You could stir it into condiments like mayonnaise, aioli, or mustard. You can also bake it into baked goods. In fact, later I'm going to give you a tip in a few minutes about how to enjoy it with baked goods. That'll really help with blood sugar, with cholesterol, and with digestion, okay? And you have the other option to take flaxseed oil in a liquid or capsule form. All right, let me share my screen again. Here are the details for flaxseed's nutritional value. Let's switch screens. Make the magic happen. All right, here we go. Okay. So now, as we look at this, you can consider, right? My goodness, look at this nutrient profile. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Okay, so flax seeds, lots of minerals to offer here. You got copper, manganese, magnesium, phosphorus, selenium, zinc, iron, potassium, and the calcium. And when you look at the percent daily value, it's a nice boost, right? All of this coming from a little tiny seed. Additionally, you have a nice sampling of the B vitamin family, B1, B6, B9, B3, and B5. What we don't get a lot of with flax seeds, and it's totally okay, is choline and B2, vitamins K, C, and E. Totally fine. There's no one food that gives you all of everything. That's why we have to eat a wide variety of foods, right? And when you consider it, one of the best things about flax seeds are the amount of dietary fiber they offer. 11% of your daily value coming from something that small. In this case, it's a serving size of 1 tablespoon. That's not a lot. Wow. Super cool. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. Now, where you can buy flax seeds, this includes many grocery stores and health food stores. Generally, they can indeed be found there. Often they're found in bags that do not allow light in. And often the bag is squished pretty flat because it's been usually all the air has been removed. Why? Because both light, air, and as well as heat cause the seeds to go rancid quickly. And anyone who's looking to sell them, probably if they have good sense, is not wanting to lose the nutritional value of the flax seeds, right? You can also grind whole flax seeds if you buy them that way at home using a clean coffee grinder or a food processor. Now for storage, let's take a moment and talk about storage. To preserve the nutritional value of flax seeds and avoid having them go rancid quickly, you should store them in a cool or a cold place. Even a refrigerator might make sense. And in the dark. You could put them inside of a dark glass bottle, or if they come in an already sealed bag that doesn't allow light in, that's fine. Being exposed to light will speed them going rancid. Light is not the friend of a seed in general. Being exposed to air will also speed them with going rancid too and becoming unsafe to eat, making them more likely to be a cancer source than a health source. The light and air both increase what's called oxidation and the creation of free radicals that can damage your health and increase your personal levels of inflammation. Now, if you've got diabetes or other blood sugar issues, inflammation is not your friend. You want to be able to drop that level as low as possible. It will worsen those blood sugar issues on its own. It'll also fan the flames of cholesterol problems, high blood pressure, and more. So whatever you can do that's antioxidant and dropping levels of inflammation is a real good idea. Now, if you're using ground flax seeds, which is fine, they're quite fluffy when they're ground, be aware that these are even more delicate in that sense, just like the whole flax seeds. So when you store them in your kitchen, you need to protect them from light, heat, and air until you're ready to eat them or cook with them. Ground flax seeds offer the following benefits. They're easy fiber, really easy fiber to add to everything you eat, especially foods that are higher in carbohydrates, like, say, baked goods. They might be more likely to mess with your blood sugar, right? So they'll help to dampen it. Think of fiber as a very active blood sugar sponge. It helps to lower your overall level of blood sugar. So if you're struggling with high blood sugar, flax seeds, especially ground flax seeds, are your friend. Additionally, they add a fluffiness to all foods, making it easier to chew and swallow in general. Now, one note, I need to caution you here. One note, you have to stay hydrated. When you eat something like, say, ground flax seeds, or for that matter, chia seeds, right? Ground flax seeds, this is true. You want to make sure you have plenty of water on board. So drink your water throughout the day, including with foods that contain things like flax seeds or ground flax seeds. This way you can avoid becoming constipated. In general, adding flax seeds to your food, just like with they're whole or whether they're ground. This should help with better digestion and with having regular, easier to pass bowel movements. But if you're someone who tends to be thirstless and doesn't drink much water or any other liquids throughout the day, flax seeds could become a little bit binding and make it harder to have a bowel movement. So eat these healthy things like flax seeds, whether they're whole or ground, and make sure you have enough liquid throughout the day. That's the power combo, okay? So you can add these ground flax seeds to smoothies to boost the fiber and the nutritional content. All right, now here's a tip. You can add ground flax seeds to most recipes for baked goods if you want a simple way to increase the fiber content of the higher carbohydrate foods and avoid having it spike your blood sugar. Now be ready to take some notes here. I'm going to give you a simple recipe idea. A ratio that I found that works is to replace a quarter to a third of the amount of flour, any kind of flour, especially if it's a grain flour, with the ground flax seeds when you make your baked goods, your waffles, pancakes, biscuits, etc. And as you mix the batter, keep an eye on the batter. you want to make sure that the consistency is the way you would normally expect it to be. So if it seems a little stiff, you can add a little bit more liquid, right? You might need to add a small amount of more liquid, like say water or almond milk, etc., in order to keep the batter a similar consistency to what it would be without the added ground flax seeds. This way, it'll flow the way you expect. And the food that you're making will cook up like you expect, whether it's biscuits, pancakes, waffles, etc. All right? Simple ratio can help your blood sugar a lot. If you're wearing a CGM or otherwise checking your blood sugar, you can look to see what the difference is in your blood sugar response to eating these foods when you've added the flax seeds. All right, what are your thoughts? I would love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to this channel. This way you can help me grow this channel and reach others with this information. Thank you so much. All right, next up, let's talk about sunflower seeds. Oh my goodness, another thing that's small, but gives you a lot of nutrients, right? Sunflower seeds offer lots of nutrients in a small package. Now, one thing I like about sunflower seeds is that they are a great choice if someone is, for instance, allergic to peanuts. Sunflower seeds are a fantastic option. They're delicious, they're easy to travel with, whether on a local trip or you're hiking or you're flying on an airplane or whatever you're doing, right? They're portable and rugged. These are not delicate foods. Sunflower seeds are also helpful for better blood sugar control. So now let's take a look at some sunflower seed nutritional facts. This is for 1/4 cup of dry roasted sunflower seeds. Let me share my screen. All right, so for sunflower seeds, what we see for that portion is calories of 165, fiber. Look at the fiber, 3.2 grams. That is so cool. Proteins and carbs are pretty evenly matched. You've got 5.5 grams of protein and just under 7 grams of carbs. Nice. So sunflower seeds are very blood sugar friendly. This is part of why. Then if you look at the nutrient profile, whoa, isn't that amazing? You know, you've got vitamin E, you've got niacin, B6 and folate, the B family, pantothenic acid, more B family. You've got iron as a mineral, magnesium, zinc, copper, manganese, and selenium. And look at the percents. My goodness, in one day, when you have your sunflower seeds, you can get 17% of your daily value for folate, which is a very important B vitamin. It helps with the nervous system. For pantothenic acid, another B vitamin, 40% of the daily value. That's a lot. All of that from sunflower seeds. Additionally, 14% of what you need for zinc, 58% for copper. That's a win. 58% for copper. That's a huge win. 26% of manganese and 41% to win for selenium. My goodness. All right, let me stop sharing my screen. Okay, now let's take a look at more details for the nutrient profile, the overall detailed look for sunflower seeds. Let me share my screen. Now, when we have a look at this, we get to see what's going on here in a little more details, right? So we have sunflower seeds, and in particular, when you look at the spectrum of what's available, aside from the fact that sunflowers in general are beautiful, you look at that fiber amount, 34% of your daily value. For vitamin E, you're going to get 235% of your daily value. This is a win. Sunflower seeds pack a punch when it comes to nutrients, right? You get more than your daily value, 123% when it comes to vitamin B1. For B6, 79% of the daily value. B9, 57% of the daily value. B3, 52% of the daily value. Oh, I love it. I love it. Riboflavin, 27% of the daily value. Pantothenic acid, 23% of the daily value. Look at the B vitamin family showing up so strongly in sunflower seeds. For choline, choline's also found in eggs, by the way, and other sources. Sunflower seeds are a good source of choline, coming in at 10% of your daily value. This helps your nervous system, just like the B vitamins help your nervous system. And then, interestingly, vitamin C is quite low. It's just 2%. Here's the good news. Plenty of other foods have a lot of vitamin C, just isn't sunflower seeds, that's all. Now, when we look here for our mineral composition, for copper, 200% of your daily value comes from eating the sunflower seeds. This is so fabulous. This is a serving size of 100 grams, folks. Keep that in mind. For manganese, you're going to get 85% of your daily value. Selenium, 96%. That's really close to 100, isn't it? For selenium, coming from sunflower seeds. Zinc at 45% of the daily value. Iron, represented at 29% of the daily value. Magnesium at 26%, so about a quarter of your daily value. Potassium, same thing at 26%, about 25%, a quarter of your daily value for potassium. Phosphorus at 14% daily value. Calcium is low in sunflower seeds, it's about 6%. The dietary fiber represented for sunflower seeds is 8.6 grams or 34% of the daily value. Wow, wow, wow. And the healthy kinds of fats represented by sunflower seeds come in at 79%, just about 80% daily value. Protein amounts, 42% of the daily value at 21 grams. This is a beautiful thing. Carbohydrates, low, 7% of your daily value. Wow. So if you are struggling with your blood sugar, sunflower seeds are a friend. Okay, absolutely a friend. All right, let me stop my share. Now, as we look at some other things, consider this, that there are lots and lots, I mean, many ways to enjoy sunflower seeds. Another thing is that you can easily grow your own sunflowers wherever you may live and harvest their seeds to enjoy for yourself, your family, your friends. It's also a fun food to share, frankly, with the birds in your neighborhood if you so like. I would grow sunflower seeds when my kids were little by just growing sunflowers, and they grew to different heights. Some of them were enormous, some were smaller, and I would harvest the amount I wanted to use to feed my family. I showed my kids how to do it, but I always left some seeds in the seed head of the sunflower so that the birds in the neighborhood could enjoy. And I thought that was just a way to balance things out. It also, since they knew they were going to get some of the harvest, they didn't attack the sunflower. So I thought that was a win-win for all of us. All right, now let's consider some of the different forms of sunflower seeds. You can get them raw in the shell, mighty crunchy, they're chewy. And in fact, perhaps they have more fiber too, right? Because that outside shell is so fibrous, you know? So if your teeth are working, great. I'd advise eat them that way. Now, if the shell is on, they're most commonly available, at least here in the US, with a completely ridiculous amount of added salt. I mean, a ridiculous amount. It's way too salty. You might be able to find them plain, where they haven't messed with them yet. If you can get them without that added salt, by all means, because nobody needs that much salt. It's just ridiculous. You might need to look a little harder, though, for the raw sunflower seeds in a shell without the added salt. Okay, another way that you can enjoy them is raw sunflower seeds out of the shell. They have a very mild flavor. You can get them plain, where they haven't been roasted or salted. You can also get roasted sunflower seeds that are lightly roasted. You can get some that are more heavily roasted. Generally, the more heavily roasted they are, they usually have added salt. Read the label. You're going to see me in all of these videos talking about food saying read the label, because you got to know what's in your food, right? So you don't get unpleasant surprises. Generally speaking, roasted sunflower seeds that are lightly roasted have a mild, enjoyable flavor, but you can taste that they've been roasted. Personally, I find that to be pleasant. You can also get them with no added salt. They're basically raw. That's fine, and that might be the best scenario overall for your health. You can get others that have added salt. The amount of salt that's added varies a lot. Some truly are lightly salted and just can taste a little hint of salt. Others are heavily salted, and they're so salted you're like sick just trying to eat them right. It's too much. So read the labels and trust your tongue. Notice how salty it tastes to you. Some have added sugar. Now, I've noticed this is especially likely to happen, that they'll have added sugar if it's a sunflower seed butter, where they've already ground up those sunflower seeds for you. It's processed, right? So anytime you have a processed food, you gotta read the labels. I often see these items, at least in the US, if they're ground sunflower seed butter with both added salt and added sugar. Sometimes they haven't added salt, sometimes they haven't added sugar, sometimes they've not added either one. Read the label so you know what you got, okay? Then we have ground sunflower seeds, as in sunflower seed butter. Yum! Be sure to check the expiration date so you have something that's a fresh product. Generally speaking, they may not be adding any additives to it to extend the shelf life. Therefore, you really got to pay attention to those expiration dates. Ideally, choose something that has at least 6 months before it expires. As always, read the labels so you know what you're eating.
I read labels on everything.
Anytime a food is processed, it might have things added to it that you don't want or need. So read that label and avoid the added salt and added sugar. Now let's consider storage things when it comes to sunflower seeds. To preserve the nutritional value of sunflower seeds and avoid having them go rancid quickly, you should store them in a cool or cold place in the dark. Could be a dark glass bottle, could be a sealed bag that doesn't let in light, etc. Again, being exposed to light will speed them going rancid and becoming inedible. Being exposed to air will also speed them going rancid too. They don't taste good. So pay attention to that. The light and air increase oxidation in this case as well, and the creation of these free radicals that can damage your health and increase your personal levels of inflammation. If you've got diabetes or other blood sugar related concerns, you do not want more inflammation. You want less, right? It's just going to worsen blood sugar issues, cholesterol issues, high blood pressure, and more. These foods can be healing, but we have to treat them with care. So here's a tip for you. You can add sunflower seeds to all sorts of wonderful foods like salads of any kind, yogurts of any kind, to cereal, and to baked goods. You could bake it into the food, or better yet, add them after you've baked the foods, and therefore you won't have the high heat situation corrupting any of the nutrition. Okay, that's probably the best benefit. Here's one more tip. You can make a sandwich of sunflower seeds and cucumber slices. This is wonderfully crunchy, it's refreshing, and it's flavorful. It's good for you in every possible direction. You can add a little bit of butter if you like, or mayonnaise, or avocado slices if you enjoy it. You can also use hummus as a spread as well as part of your sandwich in place of something like, say, mayonnaise or butter, whatever you would enjoy. So try it out, would you? And let me know in the comments below how it tastes. All right, friends, what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. This way you can help me grow the channel and reach others with this information. Feel free to share with other people that you know that care about their health. All right, next up, let's talk about dates. That's right, dates. Now, dates are a food that are considered blood sugar friendly and are listed as a low glycemic index food. In other words, it's thought that it has a low impact on blood sugar in people who do have diabetes or who don't have diabetes. It's considered blood sugar friendly for everyone. Now, I understand that for people who care about their blood sugar levels, that they might hesitate to eat fruit at times. I've certainly heard that concern expressed. Dates are a good choice for overall health, including if a person has diabetes. Let's look at the nutritional profile. All right, so now this information is for a 3.5 ounce or 100-gram serving of dates, medjool variety, providing the following nutrients. Okay, so let me share my screen. Okay, so now when we look at dates, we can see that the calorie amount is relatively small. Carbs, 75 grams. Fiber, 7 grams. Protein, very little at 2 grams. Your percent daily value of key nutrients like these minerals of potassium, magnesium, copper, and manganese along with iron is great, especially copper, 40% of your daily value of copper. You know, when you think about dates compared and combined with some other healthful foods, man, these are powerful, powerful options. And vitamin B6 is at 15%. All right, let me stop my share. Now, let's take a deeper look at these nutrients that are found in dates. Switching screens again. Okay, so now when we look here, we can see that dates really offer a lot and a variety of nutrients, right? The B family, once again, of vitamins is well represented. 15% of B6 daily value is available to you. 10% of the daily, 10% of the daily value of B3. You have 5%, not much for B2, 4% for B1, and then B9 also at 4%. So the B vitamin family has some representation here, but not a super pack. Then for minerals, and again, this serving size is 100 grams. For copper, we have 40% of the daily value. That's quite a bit in terms of a mineral contribution from a fruit. Potassium at 28% of your daily value. If you're a person who tends to have muscle cramps, but dates might be a food you want to eat regularly just for that reason. They also give you 13% of your manganese, 5% of calcium, 5% of iron, 13% of magnesium. Again, just like as I said earlier with potassium, if you tend to have muscle cramps, dates could be your friend because of their magnesium content, in addition to the potassium content we talked about. And then zinc at 4%. Okay? And less than 2% of the daily value needed for phosphorus, so not that much of contribution on that one. Dietary fiber is 27% for the day from dates. And this is a small size for just 100 grams. That's a big one. So a lot of fiber to be had there. 25% of your carbohydrate need for the day is also found in dates. They have just about no fat and a small amount of protein, fair amount of water. Pretty good deal, huh? Nice. Okay, dates can be eaten on their own or with other foods, like with salads, in smoothies, yogurt, cereals, with hummus, etc. You can combine all kinds of foods to find out what it is that you enjoy. All right, next up, let's talk about onions. Listen now, onions, right? Raw onions can make us cry. Sauteed onions can make us smile. Cooked onions in general can give other foods a flavor boost, combining well with garlic and leeks, which are also in the same food family, or with oregano, tarragon, basil of all kinds, thyme, and other savory herbs. Onions can contain significant amount of vitamin C and other nutrients like quercetin. Onions are thought to help regulate blood sugar levels. A small study back in 2010 for 84 people with either type 1 or type 2 diabetes found that eating 100 grams of raw red onion significantly reduced fasting blood sugar levels after 4 hours. Something to keep in mind, right? Good to know. So the benefits from eating onions include blood sugar regulation, but I would say more research is needed for this. Reduction of cancer risk. This is a good thing. Improved bone health and bone density. That's great. Better heart health. Yep. Rich in antioxidants. Antibacterial properties. and digestive health by strengthening gut health, boosting immunity, reducing inflammation, and enhancing digestion. And here's a hidden benefit. Eating onions might help you keep annoying people at a distance due to the smell of your breath after eating the raw onions. I'm kidding, but you get the idea, right? Okay, we have a little fun with this. Here are some nutritional facts for an onion. Now, this is for one medium-sized onion. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, overall, for a medium-sized onion, we're going to have a small amount of calories, just 44, little bit of protein, some carbs, just 10 grams. Sugar is part of how it's counted here for carbs, so this isn't a separate measure. Fiber at just about 2 grams, just about zero in the way of fat. 9% of the daily value of vitamin C and 3% of the daily value of potassium. Interesting, huh? All right, these things are always good to know. What's got what? Okay, now, one caution I want to share with you. The main fiber that's found in onions called fructans, spelled Fructans. These are soluble fiber, which is a prebiotic fiber that feeds the friendly beneficial bacteria in your gut, though they may cause digestive problems in some people. If you know or suspect you are sensitive to what are called FODMAP foods like onions, it's smart to avoid eating them. Let me explain. FODMAP. These fructans, Fructans, are considered FODMAP, FODMAP, which may cause unpleasant digestive symptoms in sensitive, vulnerable individuals, such as those with irritable bowel syndrome, also known as IBS, intestinal gas, bloating, and belly discomfort. FODMAP, FODMAP, stands for fermentable oligosaccharides, disaccharides, monosaccharides, and polyols. It's a type of carbohydrate that can resist digestion. Some people with digestive issues with these foods can benefit from reducing them in their diet. And onions definitely are in that category for some folks. Some people, doesn't matter, they're just fine. All right, next up, let's talk about trout. Now, trout as a fish offers nutrients that are also blood sugar friendly. Trout is a freshwater fish that is protein rich and also has healthy fats. It contains no carbohydrates, zero carbs. It also contains plenty of minerals too. Trout has a number of types and most of them are spotted. These types include brown trout, lake trout, rainbow trout, cutthroat trout, golden trout, brook trout, bull trout, tiger trout, splake trout, palomino trout, gila trout, and marble trout. Now here are some trout nutritional facts. Let me share my screen. When we look at trout and we think of its nutritional profile, some things to know. Trout are a fantastic source of things like vitamin B12. If you are a person who usually eats vegetarian, but occasionally, you have problems with B12 anemia, eating trout every now and again might really help you. Trout contains 373%. I mean, wow, 373% of the daily value of vitamin B12. All right. It also contains, in terms of daily value, a wonderful mix of healthy fats for EPA and DHA. So those oils are well represented in trout, 336% of the daily value. Whew, you can't lose here, right? It's all win. Other things to know about trout, as we're sharing here, it has a very interesting ratio. Look at the protein, it's about 24 grams, fat, 7.6 grams, so roughly 3 to 1, 3.3 to 1 ratio. Very nice. These are healthful fats. Really good to know. Other things to consider, it's an excellent source of protein overall, of phosphorus, of copper, of manganese, of selenium, and the B vitamin family, including vitamins B1, B2, B3, B5. It has a lovely value of carotenoids, which is really helpful. Carotenoids are part of what helps us to see our immune system, our skin, things like that. Very helpful. And also carotenoids are rich in antioxidants, again, dropping inflammation, something that we want to have happen. We also have a fair amount of vitamin D at 22%, vitamin B7 at 20%, and coenzyme Q10 at 1.3 milligrams. Very nice. So that's heart healthy right there. It's a good source of iron, iodine, vitamin B6, choline, ALA, MUFA, and taurine. So it's helpful for you. Please note, when we're talking about trout, we need to consider whether or not it's wild or if it's farm raised. At least if you're here in the US, those are the two most common sources of trout. And I would say in many parts of the country, farm raised is far more common than wild. But anyway, let's consider the differences between wild caught trout and farmed trout. Now, trout can be raised in these fish farms or it can be caught in natural bodies of fresh water, like rivers and lakes. Wild-caught fish often have a more distinct flavor and firmer texture due to their natural diet and their active lifestyles, right? They're working. They're not in a farm situation. Farm fish may have a milder taste and a softer texture due to their controlled environment. They're not subjected to the wilds and to their diet. Both farmed and wild-caught fish can contain contaminants, unfortunately, such as heavy metals. This includes mercury and persistent organic pollutants. The levels of these contaminants may vary depending on the species, the location they're harvested from, and the environmental factors that the fish are raised in. In addition, farm fish can be exposed to antibiotics. Antibiotics are often given both to prevent diseases, treat diseases, or boost their growth rates. So just know if you're eating it and it's a farmed fish that you're the one who's upstream, okay? So you could be affected by all this. All right, friends, what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like it, subscribe to the channel, share with others that you know that care about their health. In this way, you can help me to grow the channel and reach others with this information. Thank you so much. All right, next up, let's talk about peppers, the mild sweet kinds, also known as bell peppers. Peppers are high in flavor and nutrients. There are many kinds of peppers from around the world. Here I will focus on peppers that are sweet or mild in flavor and their spice profile. So we're not talking about the hot, spicy ones that cause you to sweat, right? Nope, 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 the other ones. Okay, so peppers in general are particularly high in their vitamin C levels, supplying over 139% of the daily requirement for this vitamin. This also improves the absorption of iron as a synergistic nutrient. If you are iron deficient for any reason, if you have iron deficiency anemia, vitamin C goes hand in hand with being able to better absorb iron. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so then now when we look at what's available here for our nutrients, right, we can see when we're talking about these bell peppers, low amount of carbs, 9 grams, low in calories, 39 calories. That is not much, right? Little tiny trace amount of protein, has a fair amount of fiber, good amount of fiber. This sugar's number is part of these carbohydrates number. And, when you just look at the overall picture, right? We think about vitamin C, as we said before, it's giving you 139% of your daily value. That's a great thing. It's also offering plenty of potassium. If you struggle with muscle cramps, bell peppers could be a real good thing for your health regimen. For vitamin A, you got 239.9 micrograms, vitamin E, 2.4 milligrams, and vitamin K, 7.3 micrograms. So we're getting all kinds of nutrients in all sorts of places. All right. Now, let's take a more detailed look at the nutrients in bell peppers, also known as mild or sweet peppers. So let's look at this chart. Okay, now let me share the screen. So when we look at this chart and we see this nutrient profile for peppers, right, in particular for red peppers, you just see so much in the way of vitamin C. You see for vitamin A, 17% of the daily value, vitamin B6, 17% of your daily value, vitamin B9 and vitamin E come in at 11 and 12% of the daily value. And when they say vitamin E, just remember there's 8 kinds of vitamin E. The one in particular we're measuring here is alpha tocopherol. Then we look at riboflavin for vitamin B2 and niacin, vitamin B3 coming in at 7 and 6% respectively. Vitamin B5, 6% of the daily value. B1, 5% of the daily value. And vitamin K, 4% of your daily value. Choline, tiny amount, less than 2%. Serving size, as always, is 100 grams. Look at minerals. We have a nice spectrum of minerals here, but not a huge amount of minerals. Interesting, huh? Potassium at 5% of the daily value, manganese at 5% of the daily value, magnesium at 3% of the daily value, phosphorus 2% of the daily value, along with iron and copper, both at 2% of the daily value. So relatively low, not a lot of minerals in bell peppers. In terms of less than 2% of daily value contribution for minerals, it's selenium, zinc, and calcium. All right, dietary fiber, 2.1 grams at about 8% of what you need to eat in a day. Fats, negligible, almost zero. Carbs, just 2%. That's super low. Protein, 2%, super low. Water, plentiful. Not surprising. It's a pepper. All right, let me stop my share. Now, the benefits of eating these sweet, mild bell peppers includes that they lower your cancer risk, they improve heart health risks, and they promote bone health, and they promote and protect eyesight. So important. If you have diabetes or if you're struggling with blood sugar issues, protecting your eyesight is really critical. Really critical. Peppers deliver key antioxidants that help to protect your cells from oxidative damage. These antioxidants include the carotenoids such as lycopene, beta-carotene, lutein, and zeaxanthin. These healing nutrients can also give vibrant colors to these peppers. They make them look so, so nice. Colors of peppers include red, orange, yellow, green, white, purple, and brown. Peppers around the world come in many different colors. Now, some people have concerns about peppers being in the nightshade family of plants, the Solanaceae family. They can stimulate issues with pain or inflammation in people who are vulnerable or sensitive to them. Peppers, though, in general, at least these mild ones, they are well tolerated. All right, next up, dun, da, 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 here's our final food for this video. Let's talk about carrots. Yes, carrots are one of my favorite foods. They have a delightful crunch. They come in pretty colors and are easy, really easy to take with you when you're busy and you want healthy choices for food or snacks. They travel real well. The beta-carotene and fiber in carrots may help manage diabetes. Beta-carotene protects cells from oxidative events and acts against the inflammatory process. This is good news if you're dealing with blood sugar issues. Research shows that beta-carotene acts against type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, obesity, and metabolic syndrome. It's a helpful partner. Likewise, fiber is essential for helping to control blood sugar as it slows food digestion, curtailing the release of sugar into the bloodstream after a meal. So important. Fiber is always, in my opinion, a blood sugar sponge and a helpful partner however you get it in. Now, carrots are also an excellent source of vitamin K, of fiber, and vitamin A, especially beta-carotene, which gives carrots their color. These carotenoids also offer lutein and zeaxanthin. These compounds tend to accumulate in the retina of the eye, where they are particularly helpful in preventing age-related macular degeneration, a common cause of vision loss. If someone has diabetes or prediabetes, they are vulnerable to vision loss. So you want to protect it, right? And they have increased risks for macular degeneration and other vision impairment. Now, these nutrition facts are for one medium-sized carrot at about 60 grams. Let me share my screen. All right. So when we look at the nutritional profile, right, we can see that carrots definitely have their own way of doing things. Their amount of vitamin A is spectacular at 509 micrograms. Beta carotene at 5,053 micrograms. Wow, that is a lot. Plenty of potassium to offer. So again, if you're struggling with cramping, you have restless legs, things like that, carrots are a helpful food to add to your regimen. Vitamin K at 8 micrograms. Sugars are low, carbs are low. The amount of protein that they offer is just about 0. That's not a surprise. It's a carrot. Sodium, they naturally have about 42 milligrams, which is fine. That's still in a healthful range. I certainly wouldn't spend any time worrying about that. All right, let's stop the share. Okay, now if we take a look at a more detailed profile of nutrition for carrots, let's have a peek at that. So what we can see here is the relative percents, right? From increasing to decreasing. By far and away, the primary nutrient that carrots offer us is vitamin A at 93% of the daily value. Next is going to be vitamin K at 11% of the daily value. This is for a serving size of about 100 grams. Minerals, we have a nice broad spectrum of minerals, not a huge amount of mineral content to contribute, but some. Potassium is the leader here at 7% of your daily value. If you're struggling with cramps, carrots are your friend. Manganese is next at 6% of the daily value, and on it goes down. Less than 2% of daily value would be selenium. And similarly, if we could just consider the overall impact, we get about 11% of dietary fiber from carrots, just about nothing in terms of fats, very little for carbohydrates, 3% or less of the daily value, and protein, 2% or less of the daily value. And carrots have a fair amount of water in them, right? Almost 89 grams. Okay, stop my share. So the benefits of carrots include improved blood sugar levels overall, eyesight protection and improvement, improved dental health, interestingly enough, prevents cognitive decline, lowering risks for dementia, including Alzheimer's, and reduce risks of cancer. The colors of carrots include yellow, orange, red, black, white, and purple. Those are the colors I've certainly seen for sale at the farmer's market or in the store, or I've had a chance to grow myself. So friends, what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like it and subscribe to the channel. This way you can help me grow the channel and reach others with the information. Thank you so much. Please take great care of yourself. Please take great care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish.